Clearly, the president's going to be talking tonight about immigration, and as you look at what's happening right there, over the last couple of days, Griff has been embedded with the caravan, and a number of the caravan people have said, hey, Donald Trump, if you're watching, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to sneak into the country from, although a number of the people are going to go right through the port and apply for asylum or refugee status.
I'm a common sense guy, right? And then you hear Nancy Pelosi saying, let's get drones. We'll fly beautiful drones, $5 million, sucking jet fuel all day long, right?
Smart walls.
How does that stop this problem? It's actually insanity, guys. My father's a common sense guy. You know what works? Walls work. And right. More law enforcement works. And sure, technology certainly works, right? No discounting that. But a drone does not fix this problem. I mean, you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people wanting to overrun the border. And they've quite frankly said exactly as you said, we're not going to go through the ports of entry anymore. We're going to find the areas where the wall isn't built because it's much easier to get into the country that way. And that's why he's passionate about it. That's why he's passionate about a common sense solution. And let's remember one other thing. We gave $150 billion to Iran, a country who hates our guts, who's exploring nuclear weapons and everything else. My father can't get $5 billion to protect the southern border. Are we kidding ourselves right now?
Well, here's what bothers a couple of things. If you talk to the people of El Paso or San Diego, they will tell you they remember life before and after there was a fence there.
Sure.
And in San Diego, they just need to be refurbished, and they put a double fence in there. It dropped, Duncan Hunter Sr. did that, and it dropped traffic down to 90% effective. And if you look at what Israel did, that's what your dad had in mind. So, okay. So the people of Texas, New Mexico, and San Diego had a different idea, okay, or Arizona. So the president shows he's pliable. He'll bend on that. He'll go to Ballard.
Walls work, right? And guys, I've seen the human element of this whole thing. I've spoken to those angel moms, as have you. I spoke to one a few weeks ago who had lost their child 2 weeks before. People are being torn apart in this country. You've got a drug problem. You know, you have really good people who are also here, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of problems that you have to fix when it comes to immigration, whether it be the Dreamers, whether it be the wall, whether it be a system that promotes illegal immigration and stops good quality legal immigration. And I find it so hard to believe that a couple smart people can come together and get this right, but all they want to do is they want to obstruct my father. It was a campaign promise of his. He said he was going to build a wall. He said he would take care of the immigration problem, which no one has solved. And all they want to do is obstruct him so he doesn't get that check next to his name.
It's obvious. I mean, they were for it before, and now they're against it because your father ran on this. But is this why your dad is sending the 3,700 troops down to the border? Because if they're saying we're not going to give you the wall, he's saying I've got to do something. I've got all these migrant workers coming up. Is that going to work? Are those troops going to work?
Stop it. You have to stop the problem. We have to know who's in this country. And let's have a great legal system. Our legal system of immigration is broken, too. It's something that no one ever wants to talk about. Why don't we have an incredible legal system? Why don't we stop the illegal immigration? Why don't we fix the problem once and for all? And you know what? The problem is, you know, Washington is so incompetent that they can't. My father's out there. He's doing he never left. He hasn't left the White House in 5 weeks.
Right. I know the president's underlying message is going to be, look, unity, we got to get stuff done together. But at some point, you know, I think there are probably some of his core supporters who would love to see him say, and Chuck Schumer is sitting right over there, why were you for the wall before you were against that? And Madam Speaker, right behind me, let's negotiate right now because so many members of your caucus have voted for the wall, but now you don't want me to get a win. And it's not a win for me, he would say. It's a win for the American people.
And it wasn't one statement. It was statement after statement after statement after statement where they said we needed border security and we needed to stop the drugs and we needed to stop the human trafficking and all the other problems associated with it. And it's, guys, it's very sad, but he's going to win this one. You watch, he's going to win this one.
And the thing about the police buildup that we're looking at here, these are Mexican police. These are people who are trying to keep the migrants not from, you know, storming the border or anything else. They're trying to keep it on the other side, although Mexico had said that they were going to stop the migrants at their southern border. Now they're trying to stop them at the northern border.
Yeah, let's split the screen with that. Let's keep monitoring because it's developing. I would add this. The other themes that is going to be brought up up tonight in the State of the Union, which your dad had, by all reports, including even the New York Times, says he's all over this, every word. And as Kellyanne Conway says, he's sharpening it up. He likes to write a Sharpie over it. The other thing is going to be trade. I know you can't talk in detail about it, but there's a lot of reason to be encouraged that there could be this mammoth deal with China now. We have our heavyweights there, Robert Lighthizer. Sure. They have theirs there. Sure. You talk about putting jet fuel in the world economy. Is there a sense that something's happening there?
Well, listen, China's down 30% right now. We're winning the trade war with China in every single way. They don't want to talk about it, all right? They're very private, but we're winning this trade war. Make no mistake, my father's winning this trade war, and you know, he finally has them at a point where I think they will come to the table, and I think they'll be good for China. I think they'll be good for the U.S.
We need access to their markets.
I think they'll be good for everything. What they've done with intellectual property, what they've done ripping off U.S. companies, it's incredible, and my father's putting a stop to it. But listen, my father has a reason to brag. You know, the U.S. economy is the best it's ever been. Unemployment's the lowest it's ever been. Look at the stock market yesterday that went up another 175 points or whatever it was. Consumer confidence is off the charts. You have more people working in this country than ever before. You have people coming off of food stamps. I mean, so many problems are being solved by every economic measure. This country is the strongest it's ever been in history. Manufacturing's coming back. Jobs are coming back. Guys, he's got an amazing story to tell. And then you have, you know, Nancy and the Democrats on the other side who just want to stop him at every single turn because they know he's winning.
That's what's hard for a lot of, I know, parents, families. You know, we all go to work every day. We try to put food on the table for our child. We want our country to be safe. And then when you see people that are stopping, our Border Patrol agents, you ask them on the border. We've interviewed them so many times. They say we need a wall. And the Democrats are not allowing them to have that wall because they don't want your dad to have success. Look what happened in New York. This is AOC's territory. This is her district. You have an MS-13 gang member who shot someone on a subway platform, shot them in the face.
All on video.
All on video.
And then you have...
Is this another example
you have angel
of why
moms that are going to Democrats' offices on Capitol Hill. They won't even see them. They're saying that they're going to call the Capitol Police to have them arrested. They don't want to confront them. They won't talk to Border Patrol because Border Patrol will tell them that they need the wall. I mean, it's insane. And, you know, they're doing it to the detriment of this country. And my father's fighting for this country. And, you know, they've become too radicalized. They've just become too radicalized. And I'm telling you, it's going to backfire.
Too radical for Howard Schultz.
And they're taking shots at your family. We had joked that before we start the segment, we should get a shop vac out here for you, because down in Washington, there's actually an exhibit where they have somebody who is dressed like your sister, Ivanka, running a vacuum around a room where you throw crumbs in front of her, and then she'll vacuum it up.
You know, I want to frame that image just because I think it's important. These leftists called up a modeling agency saying, you know what, I want to get a nice woman to come stand on a carpet so our people, with a vacuum of all things, so our people can throw food and crumbs to mimic a powerful woman who has done more for women than probably anybody in Washington, D.C. I mean, think about that hypocrisy. They're supposed to be the quote-unquote, they label themselves as a party of women. Yet they're throwing food, they're throwing garbage at a woman on a carpet holding a vacuum cleaner to mimic somebody who really does care and who's fought so hard for women. And you know what, guys? I say keep doing it. Keep going, because they're losing people with this nonsense, with this craziness. It's no different than, you know, these birthday abortions and everything. They're losing people with this craziness that they're doing, and it's got to stop. I mean, it's become too radicalized. It's actually borderline insane.
Do you guys talk about it amongst each other? Like when you see a zib like that, has Ivanka talk to you about it? Or when she sees somebody go after you or Don Jr., do you guys talk to each other about it?
Hey, guys, we take a lot of shots, and that's fine. We're the first family in the United States. You know, we're grown-ups. We can take shots, but you know, it's sad in this case because Ivanka's done more for women's empowerment, more for women's issues than just about anything. And even before she got to D.C., this was a cause that was near and dear to her heart. Don't mock somebody for that.
Well, a lot of people know that. There's always going to be naysayers, so
that's right.
Don't let it get you down.
One other question for you. The executive time, exclusive, Axios got your father's schedules. 60% of the time, nothing scheduled.
Yeah. Here's what I'll tell you. My father is the hardest working man I've ever met in my life, and there's probably no one that knows him in this world as well as I do. When I worked with him at, you know, our company, you know, he was in the office at 7 o'clock in the morning. He didn't leave until all hours. He would call you at 11 o'clock at night. He would call you at 5 o'clock in the morning. My father doesn't stop. He's a machine.
So
by the way,
there's no meeting on the ledger.
by the way, you know, those Axios people,
Yeah.
right? You should have seen them on the campaign trail, right? Where none of the reporters could keep up with my father, who is double their ages. They'd be drinking Red Bull and Monster energy drinks, sleeping in the corner while he was doing his 7th rally of the day. I don't want to hear it from him. He is truly one of the hardest working people in the world.
He just does not like the normal things to-do list.
Yes, I've never walked into the Oval Office where I didn't see 30 people in the office, whether it be generals or whether it be economists or whether it be special guests or foreign leaders. I mean, the guy is the hardest working person there is. And what, just because you don't have a scheduled event? Oh, come on. I mean, it's give me a break. These people need to move on.
We know you're going to the State of the Union tonight. You got a busy day.
I'm excited.
Thank you very much for joining us live.
He's got to catch
Thank
the
you.
Acela.
We will continue to monitor what's going on our southern border with the Mexican police. In the meantime,